Let's get right into it. Number 8. Gorillas were considered a myth. This one's going to scramble your brain. Imagine living in a world where gorillas are as real as unicorns. For thousands of years, that was reality. African tribes had been telling Europeans about giant hairy man-beasts in the forest forever. Europeans responded the way they always did, by laughing and calling it primitive superstition. Way back in the 5th century BC, some Greek explorer named Hanno wrote about meeting aggressive creatures his guides called gorillae. Everyone just figured he saw some angry chimps after a few too many wineskins. Fast forward to 1847. A doctor named Thomas Savage gets his hands on some skulls that made him question everything. These things were massive, with teeth that could crack coconuts and bone structures that looked humanish, but definitely weren't. Then Paul de Chaillu actually went into the jungle and saw these myths with his own eyes. Local people were probably standing there thinking to themselves, "We've been telling you about these for ages," but sure, act surprised. Even after proving lowland gorillas existed, scientists still called mountain gorillas fake news. Those stayed in Fantasyland until 1902, when a German captain finally proved they were real. Number 7. Ball lightning was mass hysteria until recently. Picture medieval England. You're in church, minding your own business, when a glowing ball of light floats through the wall. You tell people. They schedule your exorcism. For centuries, people reported these mysterious orbs during thunderstorms, glowing spheres that could hover, change direction, and pass through walls like ghostly disco balls. Scientists filed these reports under M for maybe lay off the mead. In the 17th century, a church in Devon got a visit from one of these party crashers. It left actual damage and a smell like Satan's breakfast. Everyone probably thought Judgment Day had a practice run. But modern scientists finally caught these sneaky light balls on camera. Turns out all those crazy people throughout history were telling the truth. These balls are rare plasma formations. Regular lightning is like a quick flash, and then it's gone. Ball lightning is more like it decides to hang around and freak everyone out for a bit. And yes, they really can pass through walls. Not because they're ghost lightning, but because plasma does whatever plasma wants. Number 6. The biblical Hittite Empire was real. For centuries, the Hittites were the Bigfoot of ancient history. The Bible mentioned them dozens of times, claiming they were this massive empire that could throw down with Egypt. Historians basically laughed it off. To them, it sounded as believable as flying carpets. Then 1906 rolls around. German archaeologist Hugo Winkler is digging in Turkey when he hits the mother lode. Not gold. Better. 10,000 clay tablets. These weren't grocery lists. This was the Hittite Empire's entire Google Drive carved in clay. Royal drama, ancient receipts, diplomatic shade. It was all in there. These tablets proved the Hittites weren't just real, they were basically the ancient world's third superpower. One tablet even recorded a peace treaty with Egypt's Pharaoh Ramesses II. It's basically the ancient version of the Cold War ending, but with more sandals and less nuclear weapons. So yeah, the Hittites went from Bible fan fiction to getting their own HBO series in the history books. Number 5. Rogue waves. Picture this. You're a sailor in the 1800s. You just survived a wave taller than a castle, and now you're trying to tell people about it, and they look at you like you've been drinking seawater. For centuries, sailors came back with stories about liquid mountains that rose from calm seas, waves that could make a ship disappear faster than a magician's rabbit. Scientists, with their fancy equations, said that was impossible. Waves had rules. Waves had limits. Then January 1st, 1995 happened, and science got sucker-punched by reality. At the Dropner oil platform off Norway, their laser equipment recorded something that shouldn't exist. An 84-foot monster wave just showed up uninvited on a day when the other waves were chilling at 20 feet. This was recorded by equipment that can't lie, can't exaggerate, and definitely can't get drunk. If that wave had hit literally anywhere else, it would have been just another story nobody believed. Now scientists think these ship-eating monsters are everywhere. They're just really, really good at not leaving witnesses. Number 4. The Norse Sagas were real historical accounts. For hundreds of years, historians treated Norse Sagas like your uncle's fishing stories. You know, where the fish gets bigger and gains superpowers every time he tells it. The Vinland Sagas talked about Vikings crossing the Atlantic and setting up shop in North America. Most people dismissed this as fantasy, basically asking if Thor himself gave them a ride across the ocean. Then in the 1960s, a couple, Helga and Anne Ingstad, found something in Newfoundland, an entire Viking settlement with 8 buildings matching the saga descriptions perfectly. This place, called Lonso Meadows, had everything: houses, workshops, even a blacksmith shop. They even found their tools: bronze pins, bone needles and stuff for fixing their ships. They also found butternuts at the site. Now, butternuts don't grow anywhere near Newfoundland because it's way too cold. This means these Vikings weren't just camping out in Canada. They were road tripping deep into America. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.